This interview is being presented by Intimidation Clothing. Impose your will. Uncivilize. Don't talk about it. Be about it. Be a beast among men. Adrenaline Training Center. Up your game. Change the way you train. TheDailyPunch.net. Have you gotten your Daily Punch? Area 51 Fight Gear and MMA Mind Power. Late Night MMA Radio is live Monday and Thursdays, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. Call into the show to win MMA merchandise. www.latenightmma.com. Join the revolution. What have you been up to today?
I actually went and worked out a little bit today. Worked on some boxing, my least favorite thing in the world to do, and then went to eat, actually eating with my dad right now. So that's pretty much my entire day every day is eating and working out. So not a bad life.
For sure. And we just had the UFC 149 press conference in Calgary. A lot of talk between you and Tim Hague. Think that fight might happen?
Dude, I wish. That would be to fight Tim Hague in his hometown in the UFC would be awesome. That's I don't know that it'll happen. I don't know that either of us will get a shot again that soon. I know he's got a couple fights coming up, and I've got this one, and this one will be, assuming I win, will be my 7th in a row outside the UFC. And I'm going to go ahead and predict my 7th first-round submission in a row. So hopefully that would be, I would think that, and maybe one more would be enough to get me another shot. And hopefully, being in Hague's hometown there in Canada, I know he's a pretty big deal up there, so that would be me versus Calgary would be awesome. I think
that would be good times.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, I would want 3 months notice because I would start trashing the entire country immediately. So.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. So let's see. Coming up, you got Brian Heaton. We got him on the show next Thursday. Want to talk a little bit about him?
Yeah, I don't really know. I've seen him. I know he's got like 30 or 31 career fights. I've only seen probably about 2 minutes of it, so I don't know if it was a good 2 minutes of his or a bad 2 minutes of his. But I think I think he's a game fighter. I think he's a tough guy, but I don't think he's gonna be ready for me at all or what I've got for him. It's guys like him that have fought mostly on the smaller shows, the regional shows. They aren't particularly overwhelmed.
For sure.
When they fight a guy, like me, when they see the speed difference, size, the strength difference. He's probably used to being the bigger, stronger guy in fights, and when you start ragdolling guys like that, they kind of start losing the will to fight pretty fast.
Hey, bro. So, what did you think of Tim Sylvia's Twitter campaign?
I don't think it's going to work, but I find it entertaining. I think he's kind of gone the wrong way about it to a degree. I actually talked to him about it with friends. I've talked to him about it a little bit. He's gone the right way about it, I think, trying to become more fan-friendly and doing that. But I don't think you're going to pressure the UFC into do anything they don't want to do, Actually, I know for a fact you're not going to pressure them into doing anything they don't want to do. If the fans couldn't pressure the UFC to sign in Fedor, they're not going to, pressure them to sign in anybody who Fedor at the time was arguably the best fighter, in any weight class in the world.
Sure.
So I think there's more to the story. He hasn't told me exactly what's going on there, but I think there's a lot more to the story than just, him leaving for the Affliction deal, because the deal he got with Affliction, from what I've heard, was almost $1 million for one fight. You have to be crazy to turn that down. That's life-changing money, so I don't think they could really hold that against him leaving for that. So I don't know exactly what it is, but I think there's probably more to the story on not letting him back in, because, there's definitely heavyweights in the UFC he's, a lot better than. So.
Yeah, for sure. And this card that you're fighting on at the end of the month is pretty stacked for a small independent MMA card. Have you checked out the lineup?
Yeah, it's crazy to me. One, that they are spending a lot of someone's money. I don't know who's financing it, but they are really. Even the video shoot we did and stuff like that. They're doing everything first class all the way. And even what the fight purses are, as much as I've made outside the UFC, it's crazy to me that I'm the main event. That's so surreal to me that Carl Parisian's fighting Thomas Denny, and I'm the main event in it,
Right.
Those are guys I was watching fight before I even started training, and then Paul Buentel was on the preliminary card, which is
that's
crazy to me.
Yeah,
it's just a weird. I don't know. It's just a weird feeling to me that I'm not that anyone would even consider me, to be the main event on the card. Drew Fickett's fight, you got guys like that, and maybe not a lot of the new MMA fans know who those guys are, but I've been watching it for 12 years now or longer. So actually longer than that, since probably '96. So Been watching it since about almost the beginning, and it's just weird for me to even be fighting on the same card as those guys, let alone main event. And I kind of took some flack, I think, from the other fighters when I was the co-main event at UFC 124. I didn't know I was taking flack from him, but Joe Dirkston, I was talking to him a little bit. He's telling me a lot of guys were, saying I didn't deserve the spot or whatever, and I was kind of laughing like, hey, I probably should have told him no. In the UFC one in the co-main event, like, no, I don't want to do that. But even, that's what everybody was always hating on Kimbo for taking the money he was taking. It's like, well, who wouldn't take that money, whether you can fight or not? And what's he supposed to say, that he's going to go out and lose? Of course he has to play the role that he's a competent fighter, even though he knew he was going to get his head knocked off. So.
Okay, for sure, man. Now, I wanted to talk about this fight coming up. There's Stefan Struve versus Mark Hunt. How do you think this fight will go down?
I'm pretty good friends with Struve, so I'm hoping he pulls it out. I'm a big Mark Hunt fan, but I know Stefan, personally, and like him a lot, despite our trash talking.
Sure.
Back and forth to hype the fight. But I think if I was putting money on it, I would have to say Hunt would beat him. I don't think Struve can take Hunt down. Hunt's not easy for anybody to take down, let alone a guy that's 7 foot tall like Struve, who's not really a wrestler. And standing up, Mark Hunt's got the best stand up in the heavyweight division, I think. Even maybe over. He's right there, I think, with Overeem and with when he fought Alistair Overeem didn't want to stand up with him. So
for sure,
Overeem didn't stand with him, and I think Junior Dos Santos could probably stand with him. That would be a interesting fight. But yeah, I don't. Hunt hits so hard, people have no idea. I've been hit by hard. I've sparred with Tim Sylvia a lot. I've sparred with Matt Mitrione, who's got real heavy hands, but Hunt's on a whole other world when it comes to punching power. So that's the thing with him. He's only got to hit you once, So. I would think if I had to guess from watching Struve's past fights, if I had to put money on it, I would say Hunt will win, but I hope Struve pulls it out. Struve gets him on the ground. I think Struve will submit him pretty fast because he's really good on the ground.
Yeah, for sure, man. Okay, final question here for you. And you've been racking up the wins. I think you have 6 or 7 wins outside of UFC here. Do you think that will get you back in UFC more, or do you think Mark Hunt's streak is making you look better with every win?
I know it makes me feel better. I don't know how much better it makes me look, but I beat Hunt. I lost to Struve, and Struve's been on, doing really well. He got knocked out by Travis Brown. But other than that, he's been, beat Pat Barry and been beating some guys. And then, if it weren't for Moorcraft getting knocked out all the time, I'd be looking pretty good right now. But I think that helps. Every little bit helps, I think. And I've kind of, there's 2 different ways to go about it. You can go for a quality win or the quantity of wins. But I haven't had any luck setting up a fight with any named guy. I've tried to fight, even going so far as to try to fight Butterbean,
Right.
Trying to fight anybody with any kind of name. I tried to fight Fedor. We thought we had that set up. It didn't work out. And then it's funny because people don't understand. They say I try to fight Fedor. They think I put on the underground that I want to fight Fedor. Like Monty Cox is my agent. He deals with M1, deals real close with those guys, and I was close to getting the Fedor fight, but they chose Jeff Monson instead. So it wasn't like, like I just said I wanted that fight, and then he turned me down. Andre Arlovsky, that fight was agreed on price, money agreed on, contract agreed on, everything, and Arlovsky wouldn't do it twice. His team wouldn't take the fight twice. Tried to fight Brett Rogers, it didn't work out. We thought we had that set up, and it just fell apart at the last minute. So people may give me, flack for who I'm fighting outside the UFC, but my question is, take out all the Bellator heavyweights, take out all the UFC and Strikeforce heavyweights, take out Fedor, Brett Rogers, Andre Arlovsky, and Tim Sylvia, who's, a good friend of mine. Who am I supposed to fight? Who out there has a big name? Jeff Monson's got a broken leg. He's not fighting for a while. Who else is there that's out there who's not in those, not one of those guys or not in those, promotions that I'm supposed to fight, because I don't really know of anybody. So.
Okay, man. Thanks very much for doing the interview. Do you want to throw out any of your sponsors, promote your Twitter or Facebook?
Yeah, I always want to thank Iron Bear Fightwear. It's Gary the Iron Bear Myers. I don't know if you remember him, but he's an old school MMA pioneer. He's been sponsoring me for my fights. Intimidation Fightwear has been sponsoring me. And who else? There's one more, but I can't remember off the top of my head, sadly. I don't know. I always thank myself for all my hard work and dedication, too, I guess, which Chael Sonnen's been stealing that line. I've noticed in his past couple of interviews. I said it about 6 months ago. So if you ever want to know what Chael's going to say next, just watch one of my interviews from 6 months ago, and that's what he's going to say. So.
Good stuff, Sean. Thanks for taking the time.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Bye.